What's up, people? John here from Miami Car Cartel, here to talk about the top 5 highest paying jobs in the car dealership. We've been talking about car dealerships for a little bit, and now let's talk about the money. Yeah. I worked in a car dealership for over a decade. I actually moved to a boat dealership, but I know car dealerships, there's a lot of career opportunities and a lot of different ways to make money. Let's go over the top 5 paying jobs in the dealership. These are based on real numbers, real experience, and the truth that people don't always say out loud. We can get into how pay really works at a dealership. A quick breakdown before we start. Dealerships pay different from normal jobs. Most positions don't really rely on salary. It's commission, it's performance bonuses, it's CSI scores. That's your customer satisfaction score. That could just be a bonus straight off of that. There's different little idiosyncrasies, little different areas there's different little areas where can kind of push an employee to be better and to give better customer service and to ultimately make more money. That's why we're here, right? It's competitive pay plans that really kind of bring that side of an employee out and bring out the best in them. And yeah, a lot of times it's straight hustle. It's how you work your pay plan. So I'm gonna go to the top 5 and different ways they get paid, and let's see how much they get paid. Number 5, talking about out of the top 5, this is number 5. We're gonna talk about the parts manager. The parts department manager. Now, this surprises people. A good parts manager makes some serious money. He's basically buying, selling parts on a higher level. They get paid to control millions of dollars in inventory. It could be anywhere from 6 figures to up in a couple millions, depending on how big that dealership is, how much inventory they carry on hand. And that's one of the biggest assets of a dealership. Not only the cars, well, they don't always own the cars that are on a lot. The biggest dealers do. They pay them outright. Most of the time, the bank will own them. But parts is owned by the dealer most of the time. And parts are actually an asset. So how that controls how they get sold, the price they get sold for. They support service, support sales, technicians, service advisors, warranty, and retail, all different parts levels. They negotiate with vendors on a higher level. A lot of other businesses rely on these parts departments to feed their business. So they're actually supplying other businesses. This is an actual business in itself, and that's why it has a manager. They're responsible for the shrink, the returns, the shelf, the profitability of each individual part. It's a lot. There's so many parts in the department. The pay range is from around 70 grand to 140 grand, depending on the size of the store, depending on how much volume, but depending on how good they are, depending on how many clients they have, how many vendors they have, how many accounts, how many shops, how many body shops, alternate shops, whatever they have, what the relationships they build. It goes back to sales at the end of the day, really, which is cool. Plus, they work indoors. They got steady hours, almost no customer drama. They're dealing with business people, which is really good to deal with. It's kind of a pleasure to work with people that are actually about making money. And when you're dealing with customers, it's like once you sell them the parts, what you did for them and what else you could do. They're the one-offs. You want the repeat buyers. Dealing with your counter guys, your technicians, occasionally sales department. They definitely are an asset, and they definitely control a big part of the asset of the dealership, and they should make some serious money, and they do. So if you're a parts guy, if you're a counter guy, or if you're someone that's getting into parts, this should be your goal. You should want to get up to a parts manager. Everyone may not be a good parts manager. You might be a good counter guy. Counter guys also make money. They make commission also. I'm not too sure. I know the counter guy is also around 50 to 80 grand. Maybe you could do 6 figures also. It's all sales. Gets back to sales. Like I said, no cap, competitive pay plans, commissions. It's really on what you make out of it. And if you want to make the most out of it, go for that parts manager. Let's go with number 4, another manager, a sales manager. Sales manager is like your battlefield general. They do actually have a team. They have a team of people that do need to be managed. They do need to be pushed. They push the sales team. They help close customers. They keep the showroom alive. They're changing it, different seasons, whatever it is. There might be a different holiday coming up. There may be, Thanksgiving, Christmas, colors, whatever it is. They're doing different specials. They're the ones that are kind of overseeing every single salesman and overseeing all the leads that they get. They control the gross profit on every car. That's so important. They manage pricing, discounts, programs, train, motivate salespeople. Most salespeople, they lack training, and so it's up to them to invest into their team and push them to sell. Because sales is ultimately a skill that could be learned. I believe it by anybody. Honestly, I truly feel that. And whatever department you're in, you could learn sales. The more you know about a product, the more you know about people, the better it will benefit you. I don't care what you're in. It's definitely life changing. They handle the heat cases also. Tough customers. I just bought this, and this is, service will help support the sales manager. But depending on what happened on the deal, depending on what was promised, depending on what was what's owed, what they're entitled to. You know, sometimes they're dealing with people that can't get finance or a bank and they want to take a risk on someone, which is pretty rare because it's a business at the end of the day. They take all the responsibility when the business is slow. They get all the praise when everything's doing good, but when it's slow, they're gonna get you're gonna get crucified. It comes with the territory. Higher pay, higher responsibility. Their pay range is definitely six figures. It's anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000. That's awesome. You know, that's definitely a very good salary, and you should be able to dealing with all that stuff and managing other people. You should go to that level. You know, you should be able to be rewarded with these salaries. It's definitely high stress. It's definitely high reward. Sales managers, they earn every penny. There's no doubt about that. You don't end up in that seat unless you know a thing or two about a thing or two. All right. Number 3, the service manager. What coming from experience on this one, recently became a service manager. This job is massive. Service manager, service in general is the backbone of the dealership. So the manager of service is basically running the whole business, the business inside the building. The reason why they get paid good, they're responsible for the technicians, the service advisor, dispatching. They control one of the highest profit departments. They handle customer issues, mostly customer issues, how to make it right, whether it's from the sales side or from the actual product side. They're dealing with a lot of customers. They need to make sure the shop is efficient, teach labor hours. Labor is very important to a service manager. Sales is very important to a service manager, and overall department growth. And they have all the keys to that and all the education and all the tools to improve that. They are also a six-figure salary. The pay range for them is anywhere from $120K to well over $200K. Could probably do 220 depending on where they are and what they got going on. There's no doubt they could hit 200K. These management positions, imagine if a dealership is paying a sales manager, a service manager, or one of the next managers 6 figures a year. Imagine what the dealership is taking in. You know, you got to really see the big picture of what's going on inside these. F&I is like this ghost. It's like people kind of like, they're in the back room, the salesman, they think they're doing the deal. They're not in control. The F&I is in control. They handle all the money, all the financing, all the warranties, the gap, protection products. They're doing all the add-ons to the sales. These are the real juicy products. Kind of like when you're shopping in a supermarket and you're picking out everything. And once you get to the register, you're ready to pay up and then you're waiting at the register. Guess what's at the register? There's a bunch of candy. There's a bunch more stuff, beef jerky. There's like energy drinks. It's not cheap stuff. One grab, and the next thing you know, that amount of profit just paid for someone's sale. But guess what? 10 energy drinks, it's probably gonna do some damage. You know, 10 packets of something, packs of gum. That stuff costs nothing to make. They're selling literally nothing. It's the last step before delivery, and it's like, when you're in the buying phase, as they call it, it's a psychology actually, and it's a well-oiled machine. And once you get to if the salesman did his job right, when you get to the F&I, he does his job right, you really maximize the profit of a lot of things. And it's ultimately at that stage when a customer will generally buy more stuff, because you just drop 50 grand, 100 grand on a new car. And now there's these options where you could protect it or get certain more things out of it, and it makes more sense just to get them right there. Some of them are questionable, whatever. We're not here to talk about that, but this job definitely takes skill, psychology, product knowledge, confidence, and the ability to close without being pushy, stating the facts, laying them out. This is what you could do. This is what you have. You want option A or option B? You want this walk out with this car today? You got to choose one. Their pay range is anywhere from, they're also in the six figures. They're anywhere from 150K to, guess what? They could make 300 grand. That's nuts. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I've seen F&I managers make some more than the GM some months. Any position could really outweigh another one. It's definitely high pressure, but if you are good, it's life changing. Damn, 300K? Shit, maybe I got to change careers. I don't know. Nah, fuck that. All right, let's keep going. Okay, number 1. What do you guys think it is? It's another manager. All right, which manager do you think it is? It's the GM, the general manager, the dealer manager, the big dog, the head honcho, the big cheese. This person oversees everything. I mean, everything. Sales, service, parts, they got it all. Finance, people, profitability. These people are definitely an asset. The GM is number 1. Because they're responsible for the entire store's performance. If they're not doing good, they won't be there. Trust me on that. Every department reports to them, and they set the culture, the goals, the process, the systems that help run this machine. And they make the hardest decisions too. They honestly do. They hire, fire, they train, they lead. Pay range is like well over 200K. It could even be up, depending on the store of what you're running, could be to $500,000. This is per year. The GM is definitely one of the, I don't know if it's the most sought position. Definitely, there's no doubt it's one of the most difficult. But if you're very good at what you do and you truly believe that you like this business and you want to be able to run, or maybe you want to run multiple stores, the GM position is definitely obtainable. You can go, like I said, you can go from a porter at a dealer to a parts counter person, to a service advisor, to a parts manager, or a service manager. Then you get the sales experience. Then that's it. You have all of the departments under you. Might as well be a GM. You know everything. You don't always know everything. Trust me on that. There's no doubt it's the highest stress. It's the highest responsibility, but also the highest reward. Who would have thought that it pays the most for the most stress? And it's all depending on what's your stress level? What can you handle? Are you willing to work 24/7? These departments don't stop. Some service departments, they're working round the clock 24/7. Most sales departments are working till 9 o'clock at night. On a holiday or an end of a month, they might work till midnight. Who knows what they're trying to do? Close a month, close the year. These guys are nonstop. So they do deserve the highest reward. Man, I didn't know they make that much now. Shit. Now I'm thinking, what's it take to be a GM? That's my top 5. That's literally everybody's top 5. Those are 6-figure positions. That's big money for anybody I know. And that's a dealership. Anybody can get in there. I'm telling you, you could start from anywhere and you could be making 6 figures. Trust me on that. I've made a definitely good career. I grew up in New York, but I moved to Miami just on a whim and straight off car dealers. You work in one, you can work in another. Trust me on that. And then if you move up, you will definitely make 6 figures. You will definitely do well. I got some of the honorable mentionable jobs. These are the people that they don't crack the top 5, but they still could be 6 figures. And you still get solid money. You make a solid living. The top salespeople, 80 to 150K a year. You know, that's a salesman or saleswoman. Top service advisors, 6 figures too. I've seen most of them, 70K to 100K a year. That's very good living. Technicians, well over 100K a year. You could easily do that, depending on that. Used car managers, about 100K. Warranty admins, not huge money, but definitely a valuable position, but definitely not handling the stress. They don't have much stress in that position, I might say. Which job should you choose? I don't know. I just put a bunch. You could choose anyone. You could choose all of them. If you're young, you could choose all. You could literally try every single one. You could bounce from dealer to dealer. You know, you could take what a dealership has to offer. They need to retain employees ultimately. These are big businesses. Might not even see one dealer. You'll see a network of dealers. They own different brands. Whatever you want to do. You want to go big. You want money to go fast. You want to go to F&I. You want a leadership long term. Go service manager, sales manager. If you want to go top of the top, GM is the Mount Everest of the dealership. And then they don't talk about the owner, man. They don't talk about the owner. If you own a dealer, I just named 5 people that they pay over 6 figures a year. So that's well over $500,000 to $1 million they're paying out per year. What do you think the owner's taking on? I don't know. If you're an owner, drop a comment. If you want to be an owner, that's another ball game, man. Maybe I got to talk to some people with that. Comment what job you want me to break down next. Income, lifestyle, pros, cons, whatever it is. I'll make an individual on each one. I don't care. I'll be here all day. I'm here to educate you guys. I'm here to get you into your passion. Whatever, get that dream car. Maybe get into the car business. If you like the car business, you like cars, you like brands, whatever it is, man. I don't care. I'm here for you. Shoot me a DM, shoot me a message, shoot me a comment. Like this, subscribe to it, and I'll catch you on the next ride. Peace.